Week 6 in the National Football League, and if the last few days were any indication, we are in for an absolute treat. It was wild across the board. It is Flutie versus Stegall. We are powered by BODOG. Great to have the Heisman Trophy winner rocking his Boston College gear. Doug Flutie's with us today, and Milt Stegall, of course. Fellas, why don't we begin this week by wrapping last? Because we saw probably with the stakes and all that was on the line, the play of the year already.
Yeah.
30 seconds to go, first and goal, Jacksonville without any timeouts. And Trevor Lawrence trips, falls, stumbles again, gets back up, and just somehow barrels himself into the end zone for a game-winning touchdown.
Go ahead, Milt.
I mean, no, Doug, let's start with you because
Okay.
you've been in the firing line so many times in goal line situations. When it all starts to come apart, what happens?
First thing that happened there was you have no timeouts. So he had to get off the ground. His number one thing was get off the ground and throw this ball away. He happened to stumble twice, still got off the ground, and could have the unbelievable moment. There's a split second there where you're trying to get off the ground. You cannot get off the ground and secure the football at the same time. You've got to push off the ground. So there's an instant there where you have no idea what's beside you. He's going to turn into a big hit. The ball's going to go flying. The game's going to be over. He took that risk, looked up, got up, then wanted really probably just to throw the ball away, but realized he had a little space, makes the move, winds up breaking a tackle, gets in the end zone. Now, if he gets tackled, there's no time.
By the way, Doug, you just talk about that so casually. I mean, it was nuts.
All those things, nuts. I swear to you, all those things went through his head. He knows he has no timeouts. He cannot stay on the ground because it's going to become a fire drill. You're going to have to either spike the ball and waste it down or try to call a play, and all of a sudden you look up and there'll be 4 seconds left on the clock. The reason this happened, I wanted to get to this without forgetting about it. He false step under center. False stepping is if he was going to pull out towards his right, you put all the weight on your left foot, and as the ball's being snapped, you pick that right foot up and step. But because he's in goal line and it's kind of those high pressure, he doesn't want to pull out too soon from the center, and it's really tight down there, center's lower, all that stuff. So he makes sure he stays under center, and he false steps forward with his left, which means the right foot stays on the ground that much longer. Right guard steps back, steps on the foot. That's something that is just in the moment, probably doesn't false step all the time, but down on the goal line, he's trying to secure that snap. The fire drill part, it would have been really interesting to see, do you spike the ball and waste it on? If you try to call play in that situation with the personnel you had on the field, it really could have come down to being the last play of the game.
Wow. You know, and afterwards, Lawrence in the sideline interview said, I was thought about maybe just throwing it incomplete, throwing it out of bounds, save the clock. And Milt, 30, 40 yards away, that's exactly what Liam Cohen was thinking. That's exactly what he was yelling. It was almost like Steve Kerr 10 years ago when Steph Curry would pull up from a half-court three. No. Yes. It's amazing how it can all play out.
This is Trevor Lawrence's team right now. This is his 5th year. And you know what else came into play yesterday? It was Trevor Lawrence's birthday. I'm sure he was thinking about that, like, I'm about to make this epic ending happen. And no disrespect to his head coach, but I think he looks at his head coach more like a big brother than an authority figure. His head coach is 39. Trevor Lawrence is 26. He's saying, this is my team. I'm going to do it my way. And that's exactly what he did. A couple other things that stood out to me, and that was the fact that Trevor Lawrence had all that time. And Doug mentioned, he fell, got back up, fell again. Shout out to his offensive line. It was crazy. And also, Chris Jones. Chris Jones needs to be called out for his effort on that play. All-pro, all-world defensive tackle was basically walking. If he would have hustled his butt over there, maybe he gets to Trevor Lawrence. But shout out to Trevor Lawrence. Turned 26 yesterday. That's a heck of a birthday present to get on your 26th birthday.
I just want to point out again, in that split second, in less than a second and a half, you make 3 or 4 decisions in your head of, do I get off the ground? I have to get off the ground. I got to throw this away. Oh, I have space. And then I run.
He made incredible decisions on that drive. the long bomb, 35-yard strike on 3rd and long, another first down strike to the sideline, then draws the PI flag to get them to 1st and goal. The Jaguars are 4-1, just as we
4-1.
all predicted at the
Yes.
start of the season. Kansas City in one-score games last year, 11-0. So far, they're 0-3 in one-score games. Guys, they're below 500 again. And now I look at the Chargers injuries. I look at what the Broncos just did, and I wonder, is Denver the team to beat in the AFC West? They go into the city of brotherly love. They knock off the defending Super Bowl champs. They're down 14 in the fourth quarter. Doesn't matter. And yes, Bo Nix made some big-time throws in the red zone. No question. But they're committed to running the football with Sean Payton. Like, these are things you don't necessarily think about with Sean and a renegade kind of cowboy quarterback, but that seems to be the method to how the Broncos are doing it.
Well, you run the ball, and I've said this all my life. You run the ball to stay in the game. You run the ball to keep it close. In order to win the game, you've got to throw the football and score points. Running the football can shorten the game, keep you close with a team that you think might be more talented than you. But when it comes down to it, and you saw with all the double-digit comebacks, when it's time to score points, what do? No huddle, throw the ball. Let's go. Baker Mayfield, turn it loose, take some risks, take some change. You can't score points without taking some risks, without making big plays. And that's, we'll get to it about Baker and MVP type guys. But all of a sudden, you get to the fourth quarter, and it's like, I can't play it safe anymore. It's time. I got to take some risk, and you turn it loose. And I threw more than my share of interceptions, but that's the way I like to play the game from beginning to end. That's what I want out of Baker from beginning to end. But Bo Nix plays a gutty, tough game and then comes up with the throws he has to come up with.
And Milt, the drama started in Philadelphia full on. The Eagles offense really wasn't cooking early in the season, but they were winning. Still A.J. Brown with the cryptic tweets. Now he and Devontae are just openly showing their displeasure on what's happening with Jalen Hurts. It seems like defenses are really loading the box to keep Saquon in check. Man, didn't they just win the Super Bowl? It's amazing what one loss can do to really kind of expose and reveal some things in there.
Well, Arash, I disagree with this drama thing.
Okay.
This team is 4-1.
Yep.
Do you know how many teams would love to be 4-1 right now? And I know their offense, they're not clicking. They don't have that identity yet, but they're still 4-1. And you look at their next 3 games, as long as they win 2 of their next 3, and they're probably going to win 3 of them. They have the Giants, the Vikings, and you know about the Vikings, and then the Giants again. Now, if they lose 2 or 3 of those games, then we say, hold on a little bit. But they're 4-1. I see no reason to have an uproar. As I mentioned, most teams would love to be 4-1. So with the drama thing, let's hold off on that. There's no reason to have an uproar.
Did you see the Hail Mary at the end of the game?
I did.
They had an opportunity for it from a receiver standpoint. What happened there?
I thought the defense just made a great play. I mean, A.J. Brown and Devontae, they were both right there together. Maybe someone should have been away from the other one and maybe caught the tip ball, but the defense just made a great play. And how many times are Hail Marys completed? Not too often. So I wasn't surprised that wasn't completed. But as I still want to get back on the drama thing. 4-1, there's no drama when you're 4-1. So stop bringing that up, please. I don't know how you feel about it, Doug, but
I agree. It is hard, and anything we've learned from watching these, it's hard to win in the NFL. And we're in a world here where we're talking point spread. You're not trying to win by 8. You're not trying to win by 6. You're trying to win. And all of a sudden, the numbers are 4-1, and they're still in great shape. And I agree with you on that. Winning games is not easy. You get these high expectations for certain guys that you're supposed to look good in doing it. It's not always pretty.
Yeah, it's amazing how it goes. My beloved Vikes outplayed probably for 58 minutes. Then Carson Wentz drives them the length of the field, finds Jordan Addison for a touchdown, go into a bye week 3-2. All is well in paradise. It is Flutie versus Stegall. It is powered by BODOG. We thank those of you watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify and Apple. We are thrilled to be one of the fastest growing YouTube shows and podcasts. when it comes to football in North America. Thanks to everybody for their support. I don't even know what to say of Baker Mayfield right now, guys. It feels like we're running out of superlatives. I mean, 4 late fourth quarter comebacks this season. He goes into Seattle for the latest one, throws for 379, 2 scores, only 4 incompletions on the day. He has the swag to him. He's jawing with the fans. He backs it up, and doing it the first 3 weeks of the season without Wirfs, without Godwin. Then he loses Mike Evans, and they keep winning. Milt, your take to me is, through 5 weeks, Baker Mayfield is the NFL MVP.
Well, let's say his entire name, Baker Regan Mayfield, because he's the MVP, and that's what he's going to hear when he gets that trophy. You got it. And I know we're in the moment. We're in the moment right now. 5 weeks, if they were to give the MVP, would be to Baker Mayfield. You spoke of what he's done in the first 5 games. I mean, he's led 5 comebacks, 4 comebacks, 4 fourth quarter comebacks. That's amazing. He's been clutch. 10 touchdowns, only 1 interception, almost 1,300 yards. You spoke of what he did last week. 375 yards passing and 4 incompletions. He's the only quarterback in NFL history to ever do that. You know, he's second in rushing as far as quarterbacks go. He's been doing it all. So I don't know how you could not give him the MVP for what he's done for this team. 4-1. I mean, he's doing it all for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's underpaid when you think about it. $30 million. He is a bargain right now. He has the swag. The Cleveland Browns are crying right now. They had him right there, and they let him go. So shout out to Baker Mayfield, because he's been doing it all for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You mentioned it also, Arash. He doesn't have Mike Evans. He lost his running back, but he's doing it all. This team believes in him. This city believes in him. And right now, in my opinion, how could you say he's not the MVP of the NFL?
Yeah, you talk about the Cleveland Browns, Milt. I'm watching that game on Sunday, and I'm watching Baker, and I'm watching Sam Darnold. And I'm saying to myself, what must they be thinking in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Oh,
right
my
now?
goodness.
I can't wait to see where Bryce Young's going to thrive, what market he's going to go ball out in.
If you are a quarterback, get out of Cleveland and get out of the Jets. Man. Run away from the Jets and run away.
Yes.
I don't know the explanation for it, but get the heck out of town and go find your career. It's pretty fun to watch.
Not many, Doug, had New England going into Buffalo and winning on Sunday. You didn't. We didn't.
I didn't.
Drake May showed a lot, but you still like, and we'll get to Drake in a sec, but you're still very bullish on Josh Allen in the MVP conversation.
Oh, no question about it. Josh, I mean, they're both 4-1. Baker, even the one loss Baker had, he brought him back from behind and had the 1 pick down by the goal. You know, he was amazing in that fourth quarter and almost pulled that one off. Josh Allen, similar player the whole way. Josh is the, current MVP. And when you look long, we can say at 5 weeks, it's a toss up between the 3 or 4 guys. But, long haul, I'm bullish.
We live in the moment, Doug. We live in the moment, Doug.
What have you done? What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me now, right now?
Well, last week, you would have said, oh, Baker threw the bad interception at the end of the game. So I just one thing I want to point out, though, is that fourth quarter stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's Baker, whether it's Josh, whoever it is bringing that comeback, why can't we play that way for 4 quarters? Why can't we play with that sense of urgency of I've got to make a play now? I think what happens is you have this game plan, you go in, usually first drive scripted, so they do a real good job of it. But then you're trying to be perfect. Okay, go through my progression, 1, 2, 3. By the end of the game, it's like, you know what? It's 3rd and 5, and we got to get the first down. It's not progression. It's progression, but I'm moving and flying and sidearming, and the play that Drake May made from almost going down on one knee and got that out. Those are desperation type plays that when you play in the fourth quarter, that's where those plays come out. That's where you're doing it on every down, the need to make a first down, the need to go in that drive. And that's why we see in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden, so many. I'd like to look at a stat of how many points are scored in the fourth quarter as opposed to the first 3 quarters or whatever. But Drake May, I said it before, he's very athletic. and he's going to be in this conversation. If the Patriots keep improving, which they have, he's going to get into the conversation too.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, and Doug, I hadn't even thought about this. You brought this up in our group chat. You brought up Dak Prescott. I'm saying, Dak, this Cowboys team is, and then you look at it and you're saying to yourself, wait a minute. Dak's number 2 in passing yards in the NFL. He doesn't have 4 of his starting offensive linemen. He's down his number 1 and his number 3 receiver, and it's the NFC East. They're still in the conversation. Yep. Dak's through 5 games of with a new head coach where they're asking a lot of motion, they're asking a lot of Dak to make some checks and changes to the line of scrimmage. I'm just intrigued to see where this Cowboys offense can go.
I almost picked them this week, but I don't trust their defense. And, they're 2-2. That's the question for Dak to get into the conversation is, can they win enough games? Because if you're not in the competitive situation to make a run for the title, then you're out of the picture. But from a numbers, and it's always been that way with Dak. His numbers are always right up there with the elite, and he is the elite. He's phenomenal throwing a ball, but the thing about Dak is those fourth quarter things don't always happen for him, like Baker and Josh are making happen.
Real quick, he's finding a connection with George Pickens right now. Yeah, that's really benefited him. That connection with George Pickens.
We talked about Baker Mayfield. I feel like I'm obligated to ask this about the quarterback situation in San Francisco. I know Brock got the bag. I get it.
That's it. We can stop the conversation right there. That's
it. You know what have you done for me now? Lens, Mr. Stegall.
No.
San Francisco goes into Tampa as a 3-point dog. Mac Jones is going to get the start. Is there a controversy now as to who may be starting the following week if the Niners go into Tampa and knock off the Bucs?
Mac Jones could throw for 1,000 yards and 1,000 touchdowns. If Purdy is healthy, he's going to start to get. Purdy makes over $3 million a game. Mac is making $4 million an entire year. Do you know how that would look on that GM if they would stick with Mac Jones? No, it's not going to happen. It's impossible. Sorry. I love what Mac Jones is doing, but it's all about the money. Why do you think Trey Lance stayed around so long? Because they invested so much in him. He was garbage from day one, but they invested so much in him, they had to keep him around. So, no, it's not going to happen.
Twice in my career, I was out playing a starter. And they want the guy that's making the money to get back in there. And they want him to be the guy because they're next on the line of who they've paid, who is making the money. It's because if Mac winds up being the starter, if then management's made a bad decision, the coaches made a bad decision, all these other people should be fired because they're not doing their job. They're paying somebody too much to sit on the bench, blah, blah, blah. And that's just the way it is in the NFL.
How'd that work out on a Saturday afternoon in Nashville in a playoff game, Mr. Flutie?
Yes, it did. We still had the game won.
I know.
Amazingly, we still had that game. My attitude about it was, let's just get past this game and win. Eventually, I'm going to be a part of this run because we had a really good team. And I thought eventually I'd be back on the field and we'd be taking a run of the Super Bowl that year. But it's hard.
A quarter century past, still wounds. Oh man!
I still say it was a forward lateral, but
there you go. Why check to Dyson? Still part of Tennessee football lore. Yeah. It is Flutie versus Stegall. We are powered by BODOG. Thanks to all of you for making this one of the fastest growing football podcasts in North America. You can catch us on YouTube, on Spotify, and on Apple. Head-to-head, Flutie versus Stegall. They are each 8-4 on their picks. We do 3 picks every week against the spread. Milt went 2-1 last week. Doug slipped, going 1-2.
But you got my foot got stepped on, pulling out from center.
There you go. And you got up once, but you didn't get up twice.
Get up a second. You know what, though? Early in the day, because we went head-to-head on one game and Milt had the Raiders, I got the win. Milt had a loss to start the game. I'm like thinking in my head, I'm in good shape. Was it the Chargers I had? Yeah, Chargers came out. They're up 10-0. I'm like, I'm having a good day. And I got my Bills at night. 1-2. 1-2.
Well, you both are on board with New England going into New Orleans on a 3.5 point spread. You understand why the Patriots are favored by a sliver over a field goal. What we saw from Drake May last week was so impressive. Doug, Milt, why are you leaning New England in this spot? Milt, let's start with you.
You spoke of it. Is Drake May and what he's able to do. This is his second year, and I bring up the fact. Well, not the fact, but the 2024 quarterback draft, and it may be one of the best in draft history. And Drake may come out and be the number one guy out of that draft class, that quarterback draft class. So, I mean, 3.5 points? It's easy. He has maybe one of the best offensive coordinators in NFL history. Josh McDaniels, not a great head coach, but great offensive coordinator. And I'm sure some of the same things he instilled in Tom Brady that he had for 11 years, he's instilling the same things in Drake May. So 3.5 points, they'll cover that with ease.
Doug?
Well, I played golf with Drake last offseason in a tournament. He drove a 300-yard par 4, so he's good. So my thing is that Drake is more athletic than people realize. He makes those plays on the move, extends plays. He was phenomenal the other night in pressure situations. He's improved every week. The one scary part about the Patriots is they're still having a bunch of penalties.
Yeah.
They're still shooting themselves in the foot a lot, but they're improving every week, and they're getting more and more confidence. And I go with that confidence is a thing, man. And that's you. I mentioned the Chargers game last weekend. They were up 10-0. They're flying. They had a bad turnover after a catch hit fumble, and the swing of the game and the momentum of the game and things that start happening. It's a real thing when you play with confidence. New Orleans struggling. I really fear picking road teams a lot. Home field advantage is a real deal in the NFL, but Patriots at New Orleans, I think the Patriots are looking real good.
Yeah, can I say something real quick about confidence? You mentioned it. Denver Broncos, their confidence was boosted when Sean Payton went for that 2-point conversion. I think that totally changed that game. They 18 unanswered points in that fourth quarter. So I think that was a big confidence booster for the Denver Broncos when they went for 2 points.
You would think professional athletes, negative plays, they go. No, it affects you. And as a quarterback, you have an interception, a bad interception, or a fumble, now you're protecting the ball and you're hesitant and you don't pull the trigger and you stop making plays. And when you've made a few plays and the confidence rolling, that ball that Trevor Lawrence threw, he threw the one down the rail on the right side. Big third down conversion. The next ball he throws out to the field side and out route. He turned that loose like a Nolan Ryan fastball and threw it as hard as he could. There was no hesitation, because he just had a couple of good plays happen for him and he's just wheeling. And that's it. They've all got the ability.
Right.
When the head's right and you're confident, turn it loose.
We talk a lot about spreads on this show, but I got to tell you, last week is where survivor pools went to die. First, it's the Rams losing to San Francisco. Then the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, my goodness.
The Arizona Cardinals, who are on the doorstep of going up 28-6, lose to Tennessee. Cam Ward, the Titans, congrats to the kid, gets his first NFL win. The Cardinals invented ways to implode. Now this week, they're underdogs by a touchdown to the Colts. Colts are favored by 6.5, depending on where you look. Doug, you like the Colts by a touchdown, home to Arizona, a Cardinals team that has lost 3 games this season by a combined 5 points. Indy and Jacksonville have become the stories of the NFL this season. Why do we like the Colts by a touchdown?
I just think the Colts are on a roll. We talk about confidence. They're playing well. They're playing at home. Daniel Jones is going to get himself in that MVP conversation again. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, he's got a great assist. He's the go-to guy coming out of the backfield catching balls. They're on fire right now. The Cardinals, again, it never entered my mind in my 35 years of playing football to intentionally put the ball on the ground before I go in the end zone.
Yep.
You can never trust that individual again. I know Deshaun Jackson started this crap. I don't know what the need is to drop the ball so soon. Maybe they got to get it in the weight room and get a little stronger so they can hold on to it for another foot. Why are you dropping the ball? What enters your mind to do that? The object of the game is get into the end zone. You're protecting the ball for 99 yards. So many, it's inexcusable. It's like the one thing that the objective of the game is get the ball into the end zone. And you're in open field. He slowed down the last 5 to 10 yards and trotted into the end zone and drops the ball before he crosses the line. I, as a coach, would never trust that individual again. He would not see the field.
Well, speaking of the coach, he may be the first coach that gets fired. That game right there, especially when your record hasn't been that great, that's a game that can get you fired. Jonathan Gannon, their head coach, I believe he's 14-25 in his basically 2.5 years as a Cardinals coach. And their next 3 games are talking about the Colts, the Packers, and the Cowboys. If they're 2-6 after the way they just lost this past game, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him on the sideline again. That's pretty devastating, the way they lost that game.
And we had a version of the holy roller too in that game.
Yep.
Right. The interception, the fumble, the batted ball, the roll in the end zone, offensive touchdown.
Yeah, a little of everything. Dink, doink, donk. Gannon, by the way, had a mea culpa at the press conference afterwards, and one of these losses just said, I lost my composure.
That's
a guy
right.
who seems to always have his, even though he's so demonstrative, Dan Campbell. And Milt, the Lions go into KC, a Kansas City team that, quite honestly, I don't think any of us have really figured out. Maybe they haven't either, even with Xavier Worthy back into the mix. The Lions are a dog going into Arrowhead, and you like Detroit this week, Milt.
How are they an underdog? I mean, they have the best running back duo in the NFL and maybe over the last 20, 30 years, Gibbs and Montgomery. Those 2 guys are a nightmare. I mean, they have the highest scoring offense in the NFL, 35 points a game. The Chiefs are coming off a short week. They're coming off a devastating loss. Even if they weren't coming off a devastating loss, even if they would have won that game, I don't understand how the Detroit Lions are underdog. They will cover and win this game with no problem. I can see Gibbs and Montgomery going for a total of 175 yards total offense, 3 or 4 touchdowns. That's how powerful they are. So Detroit will cover this easy. If you're betting on this game, go for Detroit in the cover. That's a gimme right there.
Milt, you're rolling, so I want to keep it going because you have so many thoughts about your beloved Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, my goodness.
Here comes Green Bay off a bye week. They are 14.5-point favorites, and Stegall says, whatever. I don't care what the point spread is. If it's 3 scores, take Green Bay.
Take it. Take it. Take it. It could be 14 million points. Take it. Cincinnati Bengals. I'm so disappointed in my Bengals. Get a quarterback there. You have 2 receivers, so you're paying a total of $70 million this year, and you have $1 million quarterback. What sense does that make? Go out and get Arash's favorite player, Kirk Cousins, even if you have to play some of his salary. Go get Russell Wilson. Go get Jameis Winston. Go get Jimmy Garoppolo. Go get someone. Show the fans that you want to do something.
All you got to do is go steal one from the Jets or the Browns, and he'll turn into a all-pro.
They'll turn into an all-star. So whatever the point spread is, believe me, it's going to be covered.
Wouldn't it be something? Shador in Cincinnati down the street from Cleveland going down.
Oh, my goodness.
One Ohio town to another.
Wheeling and dealing.
Look, I'm continue to be baffled by it. Doug was telling us about Jacksonville early in the season, and Milton and I were poking fun at him, and it turns out Flutie's bang on. Jags Seahawks may be the game of the week in the National Football League. A red-hot Jags team. They are a pick'em at home against Seattle. And, Doug, you're rolling with Trevor Lawrence. Doesn't matter how many times he falls down, he's going to get himself up.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me are their penalties early in the year. They're not the consistent explosive team, but they're gutty, they're gritty, they're staying in games and finding ways to win. And Trevor Lawrence is gaining his confidence and playing better and better. He started running the ball last week a lot more taken off and kind of taking the team on his shoulders. So I believe in this Jags team. It's not going to be, they're not a pretty team, but they're finding ways and they're improving. They're getting better and better. And that's, I've said it 5 times in this podcast. The confidence level, the building of your confidence and the believing that you're going to make the plays when it's on the line goes a long way. And they did it again on Monday night.
Flutie versus Stegall, powered by BODOG. Both guys are 8-4. Doug's picks for this week: Patriots to cover 3.5 as a road favorite in New Orleans. Likes the Colts by a touchdown home to Arizona. You just heard it there. Jacksonville to knock off Seattle. Milt also likes New England to win in the Superdome. He also likes Detroit to knock off Kansas City and Green Bay to cover by 1 million this week.
By 1 million.
Cincinnati. 8-4 versus 8-4. We are one of the fastest growing football podcasts. We appreciate your support. And no matter what happens this week, Doug, don't let go of the football until you cross.
It's a simple concept, guys. There's 5,000 guys calling me looking for a job every day on the street that can hold on to the football for 1 more yard.
Dive over the goal line. Just dive over,
Just get there. I don't know why. Why you got to put the ball on the ground so soon?
We have mic drops. Doug's just saying, don't drop the football, score the touchdown. Maybe the new team rule should be you don't drop the football until you cross the back of the goal line.
The back of the goal line, huh?
I preach to guys, hand the ball to the official, because I was never the celebration showboat. Just go find an official, hand the ball. Then do whatever you want. Go over on the sideline, take your helmet off, have a little dance with the guys, pour some whatever. Get in the end zone.
It's Flutie versus Stegall. It's powered by BODOG. For Doug, Flutie, Milt, Stegall, Arash Madani saying so long. Enjoy week 6. We'll see you next week.